What's up, everybody? It is your boy Phil Shocker, the United States Hedgehog here with our Week 1 team builder for the Master Cups Minors League. If you guys are excited, hit the like button and ready to subscribe. If you are new, enjoy Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be familiar with the king of the crew. And since we're not using official team logo names, we're just going to go by the coach's name. We're going against by Jeremy B. And this is a really interesting matchup because we both got the somehow allowed horses. So it's going to be the Battle of the Horses Week 1. Let's get it. But if you guys are excited, let's go ahead and get into this. So looking at my opponent's team, he has got Houndoom, Jolteon, the best Pokemon in the world. Hitmonchan, the Fracture, Aromatisse, Glacier, Mantine, Mawile, Runerigus, and Calyrex. Looking at his team, I don't see any way he brings Runerigus or Calyrex. I don't think they have the best matchup against my team at all, really. So I don't really see them coming. Mawile has a good potential chance to come. Mawile's a little annoying versus us, but I mean, as a stealth rocker, and this is only one of two stealth rockers, so to kind of note with that. Mantine could potentially be showing up there as well. Mantine could be his defogger, which besides Hitmonchan has no other way of removing hazards on his side of the field in that type of regards. But looking at his 6 Pokemon, I see Houndoom being a must-bring. Anyone who has a Dark type versus my team is done 150% bringing their Dark types versus me because of the fact that I do have a Spectreer on my team. Jolteon, I think he definitely does bring because Jolteon's actually a menace versus my team. Jolteon just needs to run Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Shadow Ball, and maybe Wish or something, but Jolteon literally gets to run Specs versus my team. Jolteon does have to be a little careful because if I do bring Claydol, he's got to be careful on the Shadow Ball / Thunderbolt playing, and also he has to be very careful of my Electivire's Motor Drive, which could increase my speed if he's not very careful. Hitmonchan I definitely think comes. Hitmonchan having priority Mach Punch, Iron Fist could definitely be a problem versus things like my Exploud. I think also it's a really good way to kind of counter the Zoroark. He's definitely going to be tricked, as you can clearly see we are bringing Zoroark, but he's definitely going to be very tricked and very confused on exactly what's going to be Zoroark, what's going to be not. But once he kind of gauges the damage that Zoroark's at, then maybe he'll remember where Zoroark's at in damage, but who knows. I definitely think Fracture comes. Fracture is a really mediocre dragon, but it does get Scale Shock plus Dragon Dance, so I do see him trying to run maybe a semi-bulky Violite set with Dragon Dance or Scale Shot. Most likely with Dragon Dance, try to take advantage of our speed and our offense in that type of situation. I think Aromatisse comes. I think having a really good, reliable Wish Patch is good this week, and I definitely think it's something that he can really take advantage of using. I can see him also running like Trick Room, Wish, Moonblast, and then Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt is a way to hit my Tentacruel, and I think it gets Psychic? I don't remember if it gets Psychic. Does it get Psychic? Yes, it does. So he can also run Psychic if he wants, which I don't really see him running Psychic. I can see him running like Moonblast, Wish, potentially Protect, and Trick Room. I definitely think that could be the option he's got to go. And I do think Glacier, if he's not going to bring a Trick Room option, I think like a very Spadef heavy Glacier, which can be designed to take hits against my team, definitely seems like the most common set versus me. So those are the 6 I expect him to bring. Again, there's a potential chance we can see the Mawile, but I don't think there's a strong chance of it. And then there's a decent chance we can see the Mantine in case of that. But I think that's the best 6 he has versus us. Again, we can see maybe 1 or 2 swap outs potentially, but nonetheless. So let's go ahead and break down the team we are gunning for you guys. So I'm going to call this Masters Cup Minors League. Should I make sure I had that right? We're going to kick it off with Squidward. And yes, I might be doing that all the time. Shoutouts to Jalen Animations for that. Jaden Animations for that. But we're running Squidward or Tentacruel this week with Toxic Spikes, Dazzling Gleam, Scald, and Sludge Wave. I felt like Dual Stab was pretty good in this matchup. I really didn't need another move. Obviously, like things like Glacier could be a little bit of a problem if it's a Assault Vest set. We can't, be able to somewhat break it down or anything like that. So definitely something to kind of figure that into what I can do in that sense of the regard. But we have Toxic Spikes because, again, he doesn't have a grounded poison type that he should have made sure he drafted just because of that. And generally speaking, he has really no way to remove hazards except if he brings Rapid Spin and Hitmonchan, which, again, he might have to be forced to re-bring for 2 reasons. One, it's actually a really good set with Assault Vest to kind of be able to work around it, along with his 2 fighting cover moves, maybe Dream Punch or Close Combat, and then Mach Punch, and his last move being something that is a coverage option potentially. But I felt like Squidward here was really, really good in this matchup. Dazzling Gleam is there for the Hitmonchan, and it's also there for the... Well, it's mostly there for the Fracture, honestly. I don't really need any other coverage for Dazzling Gleam, but I have Dazzling Gleam there just for that kind of coverage. And again, Toxic Spikes is really good. I felt like I didn't need hazard removal because I don't think he's going to really be bringing any hazards against my team, especially since I don't really have any mons that besides maybe Articuno and rapid actually really get affected by much of the hazards, so definitely something to note with there. But we are running the Wakamberry, so that way we can either weaken down the Jolteon or kind of chip him down and beat him down. We can be able to take it. We guaranteed to take a Specs hit, which is really, really good. We're also running Clear Body, so if he tries to lower any stats on us, it doesn't really matter. Running max HP, 172 in Spadef, 84 special attack. Again, I want to be more of a specially defensive tank, especially for things like Houndoom. Houndoom can be a little annoying versus us. And also to take hits from Aromatisse, especially if it's got the Thunderbolt or it's got the Psychic. I do see maybe potentially Psychic or Thunderbolt if he does bring it. So definitely something to note with that. Up next we have Scream here, our X-Blood. I was really debating on this set. I didn't know if I wanted to run Choice Specs. I didn't know if I run Choice Scarf. But after looking at it, Specs was probably the better bring over Scarf. Now, the reason why we are Specs over Scarf is damage, obviously. Damage is damage, and basically, we force in his switch-ins, or we force something in to get killed. One of the two. But looking at the match, I was thinking to myself, okay, what do I do? What can I do? And I ultimately decided on Specs. Scarf was going to be my go-to because of Jolteon, but I actually looked, no matter what I do, Scarf X-Cloud, whether it's modest or timid, cannot outspeed a max speed Jolteon. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are you calculating for max speed Jolteon? That makes no sense. I don't understand why you would want to do that. Well, the main reason I'm not doing that is because of the fact that excuse me. The main reason why I haven't been doing that is because there's not really much I can figure out to do or something like that. So, you know what? Let's just go Specs. We are faster than the Fracture, which is really good. So basically anything that from Fracture speed to anything lower actually does not outspeed us. So that's really, really good. Obviously, we're running Hitmonchan, but if Hitmonchan's not assault vested, Hitmonchan essentially just dies to Boomers. We have Focus Blast there to handle any kind of potential switches that we want to deal with. Fire Blast mostly there for the Glacier, and Hyper Voice just in case there are any potential sub-mons on his team, which I think is going to be very beneficial for us. Up next, we have Overdrive, my Electivire. We're on the Assault Vest. Assault Vest doesn't really seem like the most necessary item, but this is my Jolteon switch, and I need to switch into Jolteon every single time, and I think that's what Electivire's job is mostly going to be able to do. Whether it's a Volt Switch, whether it is we are going to run the Motor Drive ability just because the extra speed boost actually will make sure that I am faster than any potential speed on Houndoom, unless Houndoom is scarred for some reason. So something to note with that. But in regards, I really think Electivire has really good breaking potential, and that's really what I do. We do have Ice Punch on there for Fracture, and mostly just there for Fracture. If Runerigus comes, then we have an answer to Runerigus as well. I didn't think running Chocoberry this week because I don't think it was really necessary. Thunder Punch, Earthquake, and Cross Chop really just do the work against my opponent's team. Thunder Punch smacks a really good hole. Earthquake is there for Jolteon, plus the Houndoom. That's also where Cross Chop can also come in handy as well, but Cross Chop's also mostly there just for the Spectrier. Just because Spectrier is a massive problem, I want to hit that thing incredibly hard, and that's where Cross Chop comes into play. And especially the high critical ratio with Cross Chop can be really, really good for us, especially if we can get positioned correctly with it. So, up next, we are bringing Pegasus this week, and looking at the options that we have, I felt like there was no downside of running Pegasus this week. And as you can see, I forgot to put speed and stats into Pegasus. I'll do that off camera, but basically we're going to make sure this thing is faster than either a creeping Jolteon with Modest, or we are going to creep this thing to be just faster than Houndoom, and then just go from there. Because I could speed tie with Jolteon, and I don't expect, and I could see him running max speed as well with Jolteon, with Timid, and it makes Jolteon's power output just a tiny bit less great. But I don't know. It's kind of just up in the air for what he wants to do. So I'll figure out exactly what speed. It's either going to be faster than the base 95 he has, or it's going to be the speed creep on the Jolteon. One of the two will happen, so definitely something. Now, we are going to run the Culver Berry because Houndoom is most likely going to be his switch in every single time to this thing. So basically, if I can get a Shadow Ball or Substitute off, I stay in, I Mud Shot, get the speed lower, so if he's Scarfed, he's no longer faster than me, and I can kill him back off with another Mud Shot. And what's really good is going to force Jolteon to be careful. And yeah, Jolteon is forced to switch into me, and I can go into my Ghost. He can spam electric and moves against me. But he does have to be careful about that. So he does have to be careful because he can't just spam ghost moves because I do have X-Cloud. So, and we do have Houdini, which if he locks himself into those, it's going to be problematic for him as well. So I think we have a really good counter management going around Jolteon. So that's where Pegasus' job. Again, I'll fix this. I'll make sure it's right. We're either going to run Monster Timid, one of the two. Sorry about that. We are running Spirit, though, our Rapidash this week, and Spirit's kind of weird, this matchup. We are running Life Orb, and we are going to be running, and that's going to be the same set with our Zoroark here, so I'm going to just do the speed. Basically, we're designed out speed, the 95s being his Houndoom, which is really important right there. We are running Play Rough, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and Morning Sun. Now, I realized I had high horsepower there for the Houndoom, but if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't think I need high horsepower. Playoff hits neutrally on Houndoom, so that's really, really good for damage output. And supposed to be in his Life Orb. I can see us potentially 2 KO. And let's actually look at this calc here. Let's look at a normal Houndoom versus Rapidash. High horsepower actually would basically kill with no attack investment. But let's look at Play Rough. And let's look at max attack. Life Orb. Play Rough guarantee can 2 KO him. So we can basically do that, we're good. So Rapidash kind of really going to break through his team, so that's going to be something we have to very much be careful about too. I need to be careful clicking Flare Blade so I don't recklessly do that. Morning Sun is only on there for recovery, so that's going to be really, really good for us there. And I just really think Rapidash is going to be a really good breaker this game. Up next, we have the Master of Disguise himself, a Houdini, Zoroark here with the Expert Belt, Extrasensory, Sludge Bomb, Night Daze, Focus Blast. I was originally going to be a Nasty Plot set, but then I realized I really want to hit that Hitmonchan for super effective damage, and then I was thinking to myself, you know what, I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough running Specs, I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough running a Life Orb. I was really going to put a Z move on here or Nasty Plot Expert Belt, but then I thought like just 4 attacks Expert Belt were really good. If you guys don't remember, Zoroark is my Z captain to use offensive Z moves, so definitely something he's going to have to be very careful with. Because he's definitely going to be careful clicking knockoff, because if he gets rid of my disguise, he also loses my expert belt, which means then he's got to be very careful with that. But with Extrasensory, it's just there for the Hitmonchan. Otherwise, Sludge Bomb, Night Daze, Focus Blast really decimate my opponent's team. Focus Blast, I think Hat is going to most likely be, if it's Assault Vest on Glacier, potentially to a KO, and if not, it could be on the verge unless I guess for Death Drop. But I think Zoroark can actually put in a lot of good work this game. If we get rid of Hitmonchan, Zoroark can kind of just clean, because the 2 KOs, Aromatisse, even if it's max HP, 2 KOs. If it's not max HP, if it's like defense, special attack, and there's no SPDF, there's no HP investment, I think there could be a good solid roll we can just straight up kill, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, that's the team for week 1, guys, and I feel pretty confident with it. I feel like we can win week 1. I feel like we have a good shot at it. I mean, again, this league is just to really try out mons I haven't used before. Again, by week 3 or week 4, depending on how things go, I might make transactions. And if you guys know the transactions, obviously I will tell you about them in the next Team Builder, obviously. But yeah, that's going to be for me, guys. If you like, you haven't already, subscribe if you are new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today, because you'll be for the king of the crew. And I'll see you guys for week 1 of the Master Cup Miners Draft. And until next time, guys, peace.